500 years ago, a man was tortured, exiled, and stripped of everything he had. No title, no power, no income. And instead of breaking down, he sat in a room, alone, and wrote the most feared book in the history of power. Niccolò Machiavelli didn't lose control. He studied it. He watched kings fall, not because they lacked money, not because they lacked armies, but because they lacked control over one thing, themselves. Their anger exposed them, their fear paralyzed them, their need to be liked made them predictable. And predictable people get used. Today, I'm going to show you the exact emotional control system Machiavelli hid inside the prince, not for kings and rulers, but for you, in your everyday life, your job, your relationships, your own mind. By the end of this video, you will understand why the calmest person in the room is always the most dangerous, and how to become that person. Stay till the end, because rule number 5 is the one most people never recover from once they understand it. Let's begin. Part 1. Why your emotions are a weapon against you. Here's something nobody tells you about emotions. They were never designed to make you look good. They were designed to keep you alive. 200,000 years ago, when a snapped twig meant a predator was near. Fear was useful when the threat was a lion. Anger was useful when the threat was a rival tribe. But today, your threats are an email from your boss, a comment from a stranger, a friend who didn't text back. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference. It reacts to a passive-aggressive message the same way it would react to a wolf. And Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries before neuroscience proved it. He wrote that a ruler who is moved by passion will always be read, predicted, and manipulated by those around him. Every emotional reaction is information you're handing to someone else, for free. Think about the last time you got visibly upset in an argument. What happened? The other person adjusted. They either backed off, or they pushed harder, because now they knew exactly which button to press. That's the first rule of emotional control. Every uncontrolled reaction is data you give away. Machiavelli didn't say, "Don't feel." He said something far more useful and far more difficult. Feel everything, reveal almost nothing. This is not suppression. Suppression is when you shove the emotion down and pretend it isn't there, and it leaks out later as bitterness, anxiety, or a bigger explosion. What Machiavelli is describing is regulation. You let the emotion move through you, but you decide what gets shown on your face and in your voice. There's a story about Machiavelli's own political hero, Cesare Borgia. When Borgia's own captain betrayed him, planning a coup behind his back, Borgia didn't scream, he didn't threaten, he smiled, brought the man close, gave him more responsibility, more trust. Then, when the man least expected it, had him dealt with, swiftly and without a single wasted emotion. Brutal? Yes. But strip away the politics and look only at the psychology. The man who reacts immediately loses. The man who waits wins. This is the entire foundation of what we're building today. Part 2, Rule 1, the pause that protects you. Let's make this practical. Machiavelli's first unspoken rule of emotional control is what I call the sacred pause. Here's the psychology behind it. When something triggers you, an insult, bad news, betrayal, your amygdala fires before your rational brain even wakes up. This happens in milliseconds. You don't choose your first flash of feeling, but you do choose what happens in the 6 seconds after. 6 seconds is roughly how long it takes for the emotional flood in your brain to start being processed by your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that thinks clearly, weighs consequences, and protects your long-term interest instead of your 5-second impulse. Most people lose everything in those 6 seconds: a relationship, a job, their reputation, not because they felt something, feeling is human, but because they acted from the feeling instead of after it. Here's how you train this. Step 1. Name it, silently. The moment you feel the spike, anger, humiliation, panic, say to yourself internally, this is anger. Not, he's an idiot. Not, she always does this. Just the raw label. Neuroscience calls this affect labeling, and it's been shown to immediately reduce activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system. Step 2. Breathe on a 4-count out, longer than the count in for 4, out for 6. This single physiological signal tells your nervous system, there is no tiger, you are safe. Step 3. Delay the response, not the decision. You don't need to figure out what to do about the situation in this moment. You only need to survive the urge to react. I'll respond to this tomorrow, is one of the most powerful sentences a calm person ever learns to say. Machiavelli's rulers who lasted decades were not the ones with the fastest tempers or the quickest comebacks. They were the ones who could sit inside an insult for an hour, a day, a week, and respond only when the response served them, not their ego. Ask yourself right now, think of your last argument. What would have changed if you had simply waited 6 seconds before speaking? That pause isn't weakness, it's the exact opposite. It's the difference between a person who is lived by their emotions and a person who uses them. Part 3, Rule 2, never let them see the full picture. Machiavelli wrote something that sounds cynical on the surface, but is actually one of the deepest truths about human relationships. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are. This isn't permission to lie. It's a warning about a very specific kind of self-destruction, oversharing your emotional state with people who haven't earned it. Think about workplaces. The person who visibly panics under pressure gets handed less responsibility, not more support. The person who complains constantly gets excluded from decisions, not comforted. The person who explains every insecurity in detail gets exploited by the one person in the room who doesn't have their best interest at heart. This is uncomfortable to hear, but it's observably true. The world does not reward emotional transparency, it rewards emotional discipline. That doesn't mean you shouldn't process your emotions. You absolutely should. It means you should choose where you process them. Machiavelli separates 2 categories that most people blur together: your inner court, the 2 or 3 people who've proven over years that they can hold your vulnerability without weaponizing it, and everyone else, who gets your composed, considered self. This is why powerful people seem unreadable. It's not because they don't feel. It's because they understand a simple economic truth. Emotional information is currency, and you don't hand your currency to strangers. Here's a test you can run this week. Before you tell someone something vulnerable, ask yourself one question. If this person repeated this to my worst critic tomorrow, would I still be okay? If the answer is no, that information belongs in your inner court, not in casual conversation. This single filter will change how people perceive you, not because you become cold, but because you become intentional. And intentional people are trusted with more, because they've proven they don't leak. Part 4, Rule 3, stop explaining yourself. This is the rule that changes people's lives the fastest, and it's the one my last few videos have been built around, because it works. Machiavelli observed something brutal about human nature. The more you explain yourself, the more you invite people to judge, question, and pick apart your decision. Every time you over-explain, I was late because traffic was bad, and then my phone died, and then, you are doing something psychologically dangerous. You are training the other person that your actions require their approval. Watch what happens the next 10 times someone questions you. If you explain every single time, you become predictable, and worse, you become negotiable. People learn they can push back on anything because you'll always cave and justify yourself. But here's the nuance almost nobody talks about. This is not about being rude or dismissive. It's about calibrating explanation to relationship, not to guilt. There's a difference between "I made this decision because XYZ, happy to talk it through," said once calmly, to someone who deserves context, and repeating that same explanation 3 more times because the other person keeps pushing and you keep feeling the need to be understood. The second one is the trap. Machiavelli's insight is this: once you've stated your reason clearly and calmly, repeating it doesn't add credibility, it subtracts it. It signals that you're seeking permission, not informing. Practice this phrase this week. I've explained my reasoning. I don't need to convince you of it. Say it internally and watch how much lighter your interactions become. This is not arrogance. Arrogance is refusing to ever explain yourself. What we're building is selective explanation, reserved for people who've earned it, given once, and never repeated out of anxiety. Part 5, Rule 4. Let silence do the work. If there's one tool in Machiavelli's emotional arsenal that intimidates people the most, it's silence. Humans are wired to fill silence. It's uncomfortable. In a negotiation, in an argument, in an awkward pause after you've said something bold, the untrained mind rushes to fill that gap, usually by softening what was just said, apologizing unnecessarily, or over-explaining, which, as we just covered, weakens your position. Machiavelli's courts were full of advisors who talked themselves out of power. The ones who lasted were the ones who let a silence sit, even an uncomfortable one, because they understood something crucial. Whoever is more uncomfortable with silence loses the exchange. Here's how to use this practically. In your next difficult conversation, a negotiation, a confrontation, a moment where you've just said something important, say what you need to say and then stop. Don't fill the gap. Let the other person feel the weight of it. This will feel excruciating the first few times. Your instinct will scream at you to soften the blow, to add, "but it's okay," or "I'm not mad," or anything. Resist it. That urge is not politeness, it's discomfort management, and it's costing you power in the moment. Silence does 3 things simultaneously. It makes people re-examine what they just heard, instead of immediately reacting to your next sentence. It signals confidence, because only an unbothered person can tolerate a pause, and it forces the other person to reveal more than they intended, because they can't tolerate the silence either. There's a reason interrogators are trained in this exact technique. Say your piece. Stop talking. Let the room breathe. Whoever breaks the silence first usually reveals the most. Part 6, Rule 5, the one most people never recover from. I told you at the start this was coming. Here it is. Machiavelli's most uncomfortable truth about emotional control isn't about anger or fear or silence. It's about love, specifically the need to be loved by everyone. He wrote that a ruler who desperately needs to be loved by all will eventually be controlled by all, because he'll bend his decisions to please whoever is loudest in front of him at that moment. Translate that into your life. The need to be liked by everyone is not a personality trait. It's a vulnerability that anyone paying attention can exploit. Think about the people in your life who know exactly which of your buttons to press to get you to say yes, to get you to apologize when you didn't do anything wrong, to get you to abandon a boundary because they made a disappointed face. That's not because they're master manipulators, it's because your need for their approval is doing the manipulation for them. Here is the rule, stated plainly: you cannot have both universal approval and genuine self-respect. Choose one. This doesn't mean becoming cruel or indifferent to others. Machiavelli himself warned against being hated, because hatred creates enemies who actively work against you. The goal isn't to be disliked. The goal is to stop needing to be liked as a prerequisite for your own decisions. There's a specific exercise for this. This week, identify one small decision you've been avoiding because you're afraid of someone's disappointed reaction, a boundary you haven't set, a no you haven't said. Say it calmly once without over-explaining, and then sit with the discomfort of someone possibly being upset with you. That discomfort is not a sign you did something wrong. It's the exact sensation of a person who has spent years outsourcing their decisions to other people's approval, finally taking the decision back. Most people never recover from learning this, not because it breaks them, but because they can never go back to the old way of living once they've felt what it's like to make a decision without needing permission. Part 7. Putting it together, the daily practice. Let's bring all 5 rules into one simple daily framework, because knowledge without application is just entertainment. Rule 1. The pause. When triggered, label the emotion silently. Breathe out longer than you breathe in. Delay the response, not the decision. Rule 2. The inner court. Before sharing something vulnerable, ask, would I be okay if this reached my worst critic? If not, save it for the 2 or 3 people who've earned it. Rule 3. Stop over-explaining. State your reasoning once, calmly. Repeating it doesn't add credibility, it subtracts it. Rule 4. Let silence work. Say what needs to be said, then stop. Whoever is more uncomfortable with the silence loses the exchange. Rule 5. Release the need for universal approval. You cannot have both everyone's love and your own self-respect. Every day, practice making one decision without needing it validated first. None of these rules ask you to become cold, cruel, or emotionless. Machiavelli himself distinguished between being feared and being hated, and the same applies here. The goal isn't to disconnect from your emotions, it's to stop being governed by them. The people who seem the calmest, the most respected, the hardest to shake, they aren't feeling less than you. They've simply stopped handing their emotional reactions to everyone who asks for them. 500 years ago, a man with nothing left but a pen understood something most people never learn in an entire lifetime. The person who controls their reactions controls the room. You don't need a title. You don't need power. You need the pause, the discipline of silence, and the willingness to let go of everyone's approval, one decision at a time. If this video gave you even one rule you're going to use this week, let me know which one in the comments. Rule 1 or Rule 5. I read every single one. And if you want the next video the moment it's out, where I'm breaking down Machiavelli's rules for reading people before they even speak, subscribe, because that video is going to change how you walk into every room for the rest of your life. I'll see you in the next one.